Get my 6. I know, I hear you. You're like, what's that, Crazy Lake? Some new fandangled tool for your potential Bigfoot Sasquatch field kit? Man, I can hear my voice echoing. I'm not screaming, am I? No, you know what this is? Some people might look at it and say it's a crap piece of firewood. Eaten out through the middle by ants, ruined with mold. This is cash money. Well, convertible. I'm going to tell you about it here in a minute. Y'all ain't going to believe this. Trust me, I got some stuff to show you. It's going to blow your mind. It's a way to answer some questions that I'm asked regularly and to kind of give some advice that I'm technically kind of qualified to do in this regard because it's something with which I have experience. Remember, we're only qualified to give advice in areas in which we have experience. So if you ask me about brain surgery, no bueno. But if you ask me about how to make a buck or two on the internet with what most people would view as trash, I got an idea or two for you that I'm going to share with you today. Times are tough, okay? This is not to convert you around to my Etsy store to make Etsy sales off of this. Some people have asked for some help or some advice. I want to help you. First, I want to show you something after I do hydrate, because I did work out twice today because we're literally only hours away from me doing something that is going to shock the sporting world. So, as I hydrate, come on. I said I wasn't going to drive you to my Etsy store to buy my super awesome homemade, handmade Christmas decorations. I didn't say I wasn't going to tell you that last week Bigfoot Sasquatch Files Volume 6 came out. You were too busy eating turkey and ham. All right, and so was I, so I didn't tell you. I think I mentioned it. But I want to show you something that one of our subscribers, one of our followers, Miss Vicky, down south, very much further south of us, made and sent us. Now listen, guys, here about a month or so ago, we did get a P.O. box because we are mailing out so many of the items we're selling on Etsy. I needed to have a return address, and I didn't want to use my personal home address because there are lunatics out there, and we've been stalked before, and it's creepy. But aren't these beautiful? These are some dream catchers that showed up in our P.O. box down in Charlottesville. And Miss Vicky wrote us a very endearing handwritten note that I've read a couple of times. She enjoys the show, and she told us how to use these. One is for our son Daniel's room. This is the one he picked out, Vicky. One is for my truck to go in the dash or the rear view mirror. And then this one is for the bed in the master bedroom. And we are going to be putting these up. I haven't yet, Miss Vicky, because I wanted to show the viewers this beautiful craft work of yours. Thank you. We appreciate this very much. Now, with this said, I want to say something else. We have been hesitant for almost 3 years to get a P.O. box because we know a lot of folks have bigger hearts than they do bank accounts. And we know a lot of people on YouTube, they get a lot of money sent to them by their viewers. Please don't do that. Vicky, we very much love the dream catchers you made, and we are very grateful for them, and we are very grateful and thankful you kept your money. Now, with that said, I'm not even going to call this person a vertically challenged individual who lives under bridges because I don't think they are. As a matter of fact, I know they're not. This person, the user ID name was a female and the image was a female. And I have reason to believe it was her real user ID and name. I guess last week she left us a message that said, you always talk about how your needs are met, your cup runneth over. You've never asked for money, but here lately you've been pushing your books and you've been making things and selling them on Etsy, and you're really on a roll now, and I've kind of lost respect for you. Okay, you're entitled to that, but let me point this out. at least as I see it, there's a major, major difference between simply asking for a handout and working to earn your money. Okay? I do remember there was a time in my life when I did ask for help. That was the lowest point in my life, and a couple of people responded, and it got me through a very difficult time, and I'm thankful for those people. But for the other 47 years and a day, okay, I'm 47 years and 1 day old today, so let's say for the other 47 years, I've always worked to earn my money. I will always be proud of the fact that I work to earn my money, and I will never apologize or feel guilty or ashamed or allow anyone to guilt shame me for working to earn my money. Be that through YouTube videos, be that through my writing. You know what? And I wrote 3,300 words by 8 a.m. this morning. That's that's 66 pages in a book, okay? I work hard. I'm up at 5. Okay, I'm not trying to go off on that tangent. So I think I made my point, okay? There is never any shame to be had in working for what you have. Now, I think a lot of folks see the kind of work I do and they're like, that's not work. Listen, that whole inside the box thing just doesn't work for me. I tried that. My mind is not wired that way. I can't sit in a cubicle. I can't work in an office. I did that for years. I wore a suit and a tie and I looked pretty good in it. Drove me bonkers. This is what I want as my office, and this is what I do. Now, with all that said, now I'm thirsty from rambling so much. I've been accused of that. And no, it's not crazy juice, it's water. I got the crazy up here, okay? Anyway, listen, I'm going to share some information with you here because a combination of what we've been doing on Etsy as well as a trip we took to DC last month kind of got me back into doing something I used to do probably 15 years ago that I haven't done in 15 years because I haven't needed to, haven't wanted to, but I've decided to get back into it. To be honest with you, because I love YouTube. I love making YouTube videos. I do it every day, sometimes 2 times a day, but frankly, sometimes I get burnt out. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to stop doing it. I fully intend to continue to do it on a regular basis. But sometimes, like especially after running 4 or 5 miles in the morning, splitting wood for an hour or two, I just don't have it in me to really load up the backpack and go out into the lair to look for him, her, it, or they. So I kind of decided I'd get some other things going on, and I want to share these things with you because people ask on the channel often. They're like, hey, do you have any ideas to maybe make some extra money? We've been hit by COVID, my husband's out of work, or I have time on my hands, I'd like to use it more productively, than watching Netflix series, at 8 seasons a pop, 40 minutes per episode, 20 episodes per season. You got any ideas? I do. I'm going to share a couple with you. Some of them, obviously, you won't be able to do, but you might, but some of them you might, okay? So I held up this big piece of wood. Okay, see that? You know what this is? Let me explain to you what this is. We had a massive windstorm come through our area this summer, knocked trees down everywhere. If you've been following for a while, you know that Mr. Fant and his grandson Matthew bring me red oak by the dump truck loads to my house because they'll go, they remove trees that were knocked down. They give it to me for free. That's my firewood. This is a piece of maple that came from one of our friends' yards. A little kid that our son goes to school with, and we're friends with his parents. They had a maple tree knocked down in the windstorm this summer. We saw it in their yard, so we went by and said, hey, you want us to get that out of there for you? We burn wood. We'll take it if you don't want it. And they said, sure. And the father actually cut it up for me into length, so all I had to do, when I went back the next day, I just had to load it in the truck. It was great. But anyway, this is more than just firewood. Now, let me point out that originally this was cut into a length about 18 inches, okay? Stove length, 18 inches long. Yes, this is a hole created by ants that ate their way through the tree. You can see the intricate designs left by the ants chewing their way through there, okay? A lumberman would see that and say that that is just ruined. This tree is no good. But an artist that works with wood would look at that and see sheer beauty. Now, And that, of course, is what killed the tree, and that's why all it took was a stiff wind to knock it over. It was dead, standing there, didn't really know it. Now, this, what looks like mold, it actually is mold. But you know what they call mold on hardwoods? It's called spalt. So this piece of wood would be referred to as spalted maple. Very desirable hardwood for people that work with wood. Okay, wood turners, carvers, people that make furniture, lampshades, anything out of wood. Okay, little jewelry boxes. This is a very desirable piece. So 2 weeks ago, I'm cutting up some of these lengths, getting ready to split them, and I come across this length, and when I saw this, I thought, oh my gosh, I can't believe I was going to cut that up and throw it in my fireplace. So you know what I did? I put it sideways, and I tried to make a straight cut. This one, I messed up. It's about 4 inches wide there, and it's only about an inch wide there. So this one was no bueno. It didn't work. However, the next 4 cuts I got almost perfectly at about 2 3/4 to 4 inches, pretty much even all the way down. Okay, so I think they were 18 inches by about 16 inches, 2 3/4 to 4 inches wide, and I think they weighed about 15 pounds each. Put them on Etsy, listed them for $30 each. One sold 2 days after I listed them. 2 days later, the other 3 sold. So in 4 days, off of a piece of crap firewood that no lumberman would want, that most people would simply burn in their in their fireplace or the wood stove, which is what we have, a wood stove, and not be happy about it because there's not much wood to burn. I turned that log this long into $120 in 4 days on Etsy because I realized it wasn't garbage, it wasn't junk, it wasn't scrap. It was a raw material product for an artist who knows what they're doing, him or her. Okay, so there's an idea. So I get to looking around on Etsy when we started this thing, and I'm like amazed by, and again, I'm going to show you some things here, and I'm not doing it to tell you, hey, go buy our sticks. I know you don't want sticks. Some of you do, but don't listen. Go get your own sticks. But listen, this idea was also, okay, I used to do this years ago, but excuse me, somebody commented in the comments section when I was unloading all that firewood this summer. They said, Kevin, you should cut some of that up into wood cookies because they're coming hard. They're getting more and more, harder to come by. So I was like, what's this person talking about? These little circular wood things. So I Googled it, and of course, again, I came to Etsy, and I realized, yeah, these little, up to 3 or 4 inch in diameter circles of wood, about ½ an inch wide. You just take a limb and cut it on the bandsaw. There's a market for this kind of stuff. And so I saw all the other things, and I thought, nah, who really, wants that? I mean, and I'm here on my homestead in Virginia. I've got 6 acres of fields and forests, and I'm like, who's going to buy this when you can just go out and get it? And then we went to DC for a weekend because my beautiful bride Dearly, aka Giggly Girl, and our son, they had to renew their Filipino passports. So I'm walking around DuPont Circle, kind of high rent area, and it's like, wow, this is who, concrete everywhere, concrete jungle, no forests, no fields, and most of the townhouses and apartments and condos we saw had chimneys because they have fireplaces. Now, I doubt the people burn wood. It's probably just for looks. But, so anyway, let me just, I thought, maybe this is worth doing again. So let me show you something else. This is what I've been up to, and I'm going to do this here a little bit more before it gets dark if I have time. And I hope you're getting my 6. You never know when him, her, it, or they will show up. Now, this is beneficial because there's something that, if you've been following for a while, you know that I'm always fighting this never-ending battle against deer. Look at this. You see this? Probably this is a young gray birch tree. That bark was stripped just maybe 2 days ago by a buck. We have a big 6-point buck that's walking around here, marking his territory everywhere he goes. And as you know, the bucks will mark their territory by scraping the trees. They scrape the bark off their trees. Or off the trees. He scraped it all the way up to there, and then I cut it from there, and I'm going to show you why. And they'll make scrapes on the ground, and they urinate everywhere, just like cats, to mark their territory. Unfortunately, when they do this to the young trees of certain types, it just kills the trees. Now, they've done this to some of our locusts. Those survive because they grow like weeds. But every year we lose about a dozen or 2 gray birch saplings to the bucks. And I've always thought that's so sad because they're beautiful trees. They're like 15 feet tall, even though they're this thin. They have beautiful leaves. The bucks do this. The bark isn't there to allow the tree to survive the winter, and they die. Well, through looking around on Etsy and figuring out, ways to maybe make an extra buck or two that you can do too. Okay, this isn't, hey, go to Etsy and buy my sticks. This gives me a way to come along, with these things. I love these gardening shears. Clip off that tree that's going to die this winter anyway. Go up above the scrape, clip it there, and then these are gray birch sticks, and this evening, here in a little bit after I make this video and upload the video and everything, I will be listing these for sale on Etsy. And you're thinking, sticks? Who buys sticks? You would not believe how many people just in our comments section have left comments something like, wow, I love your forest. It reminds me of where I go to collect sticks for my crafts. And the first few times I read those, I was like, what? Who does that? Go to Etsy and just type in sticks, type in craft sticks. Okay, I've got 20 here and they're 16 inches long. I'll list these for, I think, like around $15 or something. Why? Am I scamming people? Am I being shady? Am I being a flam man? No, because that's current market value. Okay, if I wanted to be a flim flam man, I'd go in there and I'd list them for $10 and undercut the market. I've got enough on my property to overtake the market. But nobody likes that guy, and nobody wants to be that guy, and I'm not going to be that guy, okay? But look, guys and girls, I'm just telling you, you've asked, hey, what can I do? What are some ideas I can do? And somebody left a comment the other day that said they've been watching our Etsy store because they wanted to get some ideas of maybe what are some things that they can do to make some extra money. Here's one of them, okay? And I've got a 1-gallon bag because on the way back down to the house after making this video, I'm going to clip off some of the tops of eastern red cedar trees because right now especially, I'm making this video here November 30. We're going into December. Christmas crafts are huge right now, and people are looking for the tips of the northern white cedars. If you're up in New England, are doing well. Eastern red cedars down here through the mid-Atlantic. If you're out on the west coast, we know you have a different type of cedar out there, western cedars. People use those tips like for in their wreaths or whatever. And speaking of wreaths, grapevine, lichen, that's for terrariums. We listed some lichen yesterday. Guys, there's a plethora of things all around you that if you have time and you're kind of like, spinning it on the couch, eating potato chips, watching whatever Netflix series, and you'd like to use it more productively, just get out there and get to work. And the lady who lost respect for me because I'm really, raking it in on book sales and Etsy and blah, blah, blah. Let me tell you, these sticks don't cut themselves. These sticks don't pack themselves and take themselves to the post office themselves. We're making 4 or 5 trips to the post office every week now with a cab full of stuff. There's work involved. And again, I am not ashamed to be working for my money, even though the work I'm doing is outside the box. As a matter of fact, I pride myself on thinking and working and living outside of the box because inside the box is boring. So years ago, I took the box and I threw it away. To hell with the box. Wait a minute. You weren't supposed to be able to see it after I threw it away because it's gone. It's out of the picture. It exists no more. I thought I heard laughter coming from the forest. So anyway, guys, now listen, don't go into the woods that are not yours. Don't go into private property and start taking sticks and lichen and cedar ends. But get out your firewood pile. If you've got wood that looks like it might be rotten, it might be spalt. If you've got weird squirmy designs like where the crotch sections meet, woodworkers love that stuff. Don't go into national forest, state forest. Come on, don't trespass. Do it legally. You know somebody that's got some space, ask for permission. Do it the right way. But guys and girls, there are just some ideas I wanted to share with you because people have been asking, and this is kind of what I'm up to kind of kill the monotony of always doing the same thing over and over. You can do it too. So we'll see you for more next time on the whatever this show's about. about. And until then, as always, get my 6. That would be your 12.